Alright, welcome everyone to yet another update for the DCS F-14 Tomcat for Dummies series. In this video, we will be taking a look at the most recent update to the AIM-54 Phoenix missile family and how they will affect the employment of the missile for the foreseeable future. This update took place on the 2nd of September 2022 as part of version 2.7.17.29493. Things are obviously still subject to change, but these look to be the most serious changes and we shouldn't expect much more for a while. First things first, let's talk about the rocket motors. A massive change came to both the Mark 47 and Mark 60 rocket motors. Firstly, the Mark 47 Mod 0 motor equipped to the A version of the AIM-54 and the Mark 47 Mod 1 motor equipped to the C variant have been fixed so that they now have the same thrust. This has been a problem as the Mod 0 motor was outperforming the Mod 1 motor, even though the Heat Blur official white paper stated the exact opposite. Next, the rocket impulse generated by both the Mark 47 and Mark 60 motors have been reduced considerably, and the Mark 60 has had a burn time reduction of a full 10 seconds, from 30 down to 20. However, with these changes, the motors now actually apply nearly the exact same delta V in most scenarios. Now, for those of you that aren't nerds, what this basically means is the rocket motors are now overall weaker and that there is no difference in the overall performance of the Mark 47 and the Mark 60. No longer will the A variant of the Phoenix equipped with the Mark 60 motor be the de facto best version. But even in saying so, the Mark 60 motor will still have its place as a closer range missile due to having a higher acceleration than the Mark 47. To complement this change, a new Phoenix variant has been added to the game, an AIM-54C equipped with the Mark 60 motor. How big of a deal this addition is, we will have to see. Next thing on the list is some rather minor changes in the actual build of the missiles. The Mark 60 rocket propellant mass has been changed and the empty weight of the Phoenix has also been adjusted. Whether these values were increased or decreased, I have no idea. Heat Blur has not stated, but from discussing with others, they have perhaps been decreased to make the missile overall lighter. Lastly, let's talk about the guidance logic changes to the AIM-54. Now, the most exciting news, in my and a lot of people's opinions, is that the AIM-54C has finally gained the ability to activate its seeker head on its own upon the Tomcat either dropping a PD STT lock or a TWS track failing. No more shall the missile simply die mid-flight if you lose the track. This is a massive change as it finally pulls the AIM-54C out of the shadow of the once mighty AIM-54A Mark 60. The C variant has now become the de facto best version from this simple addition. To clarify this, the AIM-54C will still behave as a SAR missile, semi-active radar homing, during a PD STT launch. But now, if you lose lock, it will just go active like a typical Fox 3. This should dramatically improve the capability of the F-14 and drag it out of the 70s and into the 90s just like the rest of the 4th gens. Sorry flankers, maybe one day. Besides this, the actual flight behavior has been changed to include the update rate of the target track file contributing to how the missile flies. This will become noticeable during TWS launches as the older AIM-54A variants will now only do mid-course flight corrections whenever the TWS track file updates, which will be roughly every 2 seconds as that's how long it takes to complete a full sweep of the radar in TWS. In STT, this won't be a problem as STT tracking gives you a near instantaneous update rate. Another small change, but is something that should have noticeable improvements, is the PN gain or proportional navigation gain in the guidance logic has been increased for all missile variants. For those of you who haven't read their copy of Missile Guidance Logic for Beginners, this basically means that the AIM-54 should have slightly better terminal energy against targets in most scenarios. The very last thing to mention is the chaff resistance for the AIM-54C has been increased while the AIM-54A has been decreased. This really doesn't mean anything in the game with how countermeasure logic is modeled in DCS, but it's Heat Blur's attempt at modeling some sort of difference between the analog and digital seeker heads. So that concludes this update to the DCS F-14 Tomcat for Dummies series. Now, even with all these changes, the F-14 and the AIM-54 are still the long-range king of the game, and will stay that way for a pretty long while. I hope you all find this informative and helpful. If you have any questions, then please feel free to ask me in the comments or or go check out the F-14 subthread on the DCS forums. A lot of discussion goes on in there, and you may just find the answer you're looking for. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, then hit the like button and consider subscribing. It is very much appreciated. Anyways, I want to thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.